Oh man, I'm muted. Testing, testing. Sorry about that, guys. Hope you're all well out there. I think I'm going to change my mind about working on risers and work on drones, on bouncing drones. I was thinking that my ears weren't good enough to be bouncing finished products, which is why I was thinking, oh, maybe I should work on some new stuff, some risers. But I'm thinking maybe my ear is a little bit better than I was thinking it was. I've had this head cold for the last week. It's just been brutal on the ear. Okay, I think you guys are caught up now. Oh, I also said hello to all of you. Saf, thank you so much for the sub. Respect the gazelle or get lost. Javara, I hope you're doing well. I hope you guys are working on something fun today. Saffron is going to go get some new VCV modules after he gets off work. It's all those muted colors I'm wearing. It's I've been turning down my mic so I can cough, not in your face. Cough and sneeze. All right, so yeah, I think as long as these sound okay, what I bounced last night, then I'm going to go ahead and continue bouncing these finished products rather than making some new stuff. So let's see if they sound all right. They're supposed to be drones. Let's see if they are. Anybody working on anything good out there this week? You know, I skipped the stream yesterday so I could tune into WWDC with the team, and it was so interesting hearing everybody's reactions, like as stuff was being talked about, and like all of the like disappointment vibes before the one more thing, and stuff finally got a little bit more interesting. But it was mostly highly predictable this year. Couple cool things though. Hey Liv, how you doing? And Wolf Asylum is here. Happy Tuesday to you guys. Wolf Asylum is saying, I've been producing for a long time, around 30 years, and finally got a controller, been streaming recently. It's good stuff. Hell yeah. Welcome to the mix of the recently streaming. So you finally got a controller. What were you producing with for all these years? What are you doing now? What's your thing? These are all going to go into volume 2 of the drone series and the Cinematic Essentials series. I think these are all sounding fine. I think I can trust my ears on this. Yo, Clochard, how you doing? Happy Tuesday to you. Javar says, I'm meeting up with a certain Toto Robin later this week, who's out here for a conference, meeting 2 streamers in less than a month. It's insane. Nice. Nice, dude. It was good meeting you, by the way. We should do it again. Wolf Asylum is writing Asylum, Glitchy Breaks, and Experimental Electronica. Nice. Well, you will fit right in around here. Production styles kind of run the entire gambit here. The community produces everything from, you know, like corporate stuff to really insane mind-bending avant-garde stuff to like sweeping cinematic stuff to heavy beats, all sorts of stuff. A lot of folks into D&B. It's your turn to come up here. Yeah. Yeah, right? Right? Where all the music shops used to be. Yeah. All right, well, I feel like I can actually kind of sort of hear the sound on the left today, so I think we're doing better. All right, let's do this, huh? Gotta respect the gazelle, though. Thank you so much, Liv. And Wolf Asylum, if you want to grab free sounds, hop over to the Discord and grab yourself some free sounds. You just have to sync your Twitch and Discord profiles, and you'll be granted access to your subscriber rewards channel here. Yeah, let's shut down this. Unless you guys were like super banking on seeing how we make a bunch of risers. Tend to border between avant-garde, D&B, jungle, all that stuff all glitched together and affected in live sets. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're like part of the tribe. Welcome. Have a seat at the table. Just guessing, says Saf. Just guessing. Maybe some IDM. Oh, hey, I just looked down and I see I'm dropping frames. Is Comcast doing their beginning of the stream shenanigans? Twitch needs to get their Comcast relationship ironed out. Maybe that's where the bad juju is. Paul's tuning in from sunny Maryland on a Tuesday. I know everybody hates IDM. The name IDM. Why can't we just give it a new acronym? Why can't we just rebrand IDM? Tribal glitch? I think that's really what it is IDM is like miscellaneous. Everybody hates the MISC folder, right? It's stupid. You don't find stuff again in the MISC folder. You're right. We should not call it IDM anymore. Answered yourself at Comcast. Yeah, right? Right? All right. Well, it all seems to be fine now. All right. So before I close this blank and empty risers project and jump into drones, was anybody really dying to see risers today? Yeah. I think I'm gonna lean into productivity here then. Yeah, sure, you can close that. We don't need to save any of that. I don't even need kontakt right now. Thank you very much. All right, so I was around here then. Comcast battle here yesterday, huh? Stop popping your email, so I had to IMAP. All good now. Paul, man, that seems like almost like an archaic chore right now, right? Doesn't it? Kind of like in the days of like super automatically simple automated workflows. Live, right? Make sound, then make sound go forever, then pitch bend to taste. Yeah, right? Yeah, do something else. Okay, cool. Let's talk processing. Let's talk, I was talking with a few people this week, kind of about the same old problem, or what I kind of see is like the same old problem, which is like, they're bouncing stuff, they're not doing much with the stuff, but they're trying to feel good about bouncing the stuff. And when they do put it somewhere, they're frustrated that it isn't doing anything for them. And so while we talk about processing, as I bounce just a whole bunch of stuff, since I won't be focusing on like wiring sounds to work, I feel like we should have a little conversation about like the value of giving yourself the authority or the privilege or the right or the permission or whatever it is that you need to bounce something and then upload it to a different place to make some coin off of it. There's something that kind of happens. I mean, these transactions happen without you, right? You totally offline manner, right? You put them up in an upload queue. It could be days before they're approved, whatever. So you start to become kind of disconnected from these files after you release them into the wild. Um, but then when you go and you check your balance and you're like, oh, hey, something sold or a couple things sold or whatever, it feels good, right? But then when you start to realize that what you're actually doing is kind of enabling or empowering other people to push their projects to like a fully realized state, right? Um, we get so caught up in our stuff that we forget that it has layers of different kinds of value. And we do, on some level, want to share these things and have good outcomes from sharing those things. But I just kind of wanted to open up the floor and let people be kind of, I don't know, vulnerable with each other here, and like toss out the stuff that is keeping you from actually taking stuff out of your Finder, out of a folder on your computer, and putting it into the upload queue this afternoon. And maybe we can get a couple of people to upload some stuff. So that's what I'm thinking. Ooh, speaking of naming things, Saf, you guys should help me name files today too. Oh, Paul, I love that the hatred of Comcast is so universal. It might be like the one thing that could unite everyone right now. Oh, yeah. Wolf Asylum says, I watched Ben Jordan's, aka the Flashbulb, stream about the sort of software Aphex Twin was using back in the day for sound design, and it's so cray-cray. The man's an absolute genius. Well, you know what, Wolf Asylum? If I'm not mistaken, he used a lot of really old reactor stuff mostly, right? Am I right about that? We tend to use a lot of reactor stuff here. Um, that's kind of my thing. I am still down the rabbit hole. Yeah. Ooh, Paul treated himself to the Arturia V collection upgrade this week. Now you have to upgrade the FX collection. Oh man. Why can't it all be just connected, right? Oh. I know it's like Native Instruments sale came around and I'm like, yes, let's see what we got. And I'm like, oh, I already have this version of complete, so there's really nothing for me. So on to the next year. A lot of command line stuff. Um, what is the oh, what's the one that Yor got me into? It'll pop into my head in a couple of minutes. Mm. Ooh, DOS only with no GUI. That's nice. Talk about a manual process, right? Yeah, okay, so Liv, so when I say putting stuff into an upload queue, there's like releasing your stuff through TuneCore or whatever and putting your stuff out there to be listened to, which happens like periodically, right? For some folks, and other folks have had a more time to work on all this stuff and they've built up a following and they have their listeners. But again, it's the streaming world, so Spotify and whatnot, you're not really getting much money from that. It's good to see the numbers, like the people are listening or whatever. But if what you're wanting to do is to allow this to become more sustainable, right, then you move to where the money is, right, and not changing anything that you're doing except for where you're uploading your stuff, because the way that sound and music mostly makes money nowadays is through licensing. It's when other people are using your work in a different project, right? Like a commercial or a television show or a whatever. Um, And there's many different ways to do that, right? You do that through royalty deals or royalty-free deals, and you can do it with a handshake, or you can do it in a subscription model, or you can do it in an a la carte marketplace, or you can do it in a boutique agency of some kind. There's so many different ways to do it. Um, so I'm kind of wondering if anyone out there is kind of finding themselves to be on the fence for a really long time about uploading stuff in different places to see what happens. I kind of want to hear what the thoughts and fears and hangups are there. Um, just having done it for so long, I haven't helped anyone go through the process that came out the other side and thought, man, I really wish I had never done any of this. I really wish I had never put any of this stuff out, because everyone is always like, man, this is so nice to have like the extra income, or so nice to have the reassurance that like what I'm doing is a valuable thing, or um, just the feelings that go along with watching projects and hearing your stuff in them or whatever. Um, because it has kind of just become over the years, it's kind of become the new way that people make um, the bulk of the money in the industry. You know what I mean? So, ooh, Iron Imp. Yeah, you would love this. We are talking about Aphex Twin software. Yeah. I had a feeling if someone brought this up in conversation, you were going to pop in. Hmm. Hmm. Wolf Asylum says, I really just want people to be involved when I play. I love that direct musician to audience connection. That's why I'm streaming on Twitch again. Yeah, right? Yeah, I started doing it again during the pandemic. I've uploaded music to the streaming sites. It all feels like a ripoff from the biz-scaled companies that undermine your value by devaluing the product they are selling, which is your music, to maximize profits. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't upload anything I do to any of the streaming sites like that. But I do upload stuff that I make to different places that actually make me money, right? And feed the family and all that stuff. So, um, yeah, just kind of want to offer the help if people are sitting out there and listening while we're bouncing sounds, because it is possible. It is a doable thing. Let's see if I bounced this one already. Let's see, what does this say? Oh, I restarted my computer, so it's not going to say anything. I think I did. We're going to say I did, because I remember putting the fade curves in there. Oh man, everything is on default. It didn't save anything in here. Okay, so this is an interesting one. This is a sound that I really like. The recording of it, the way that the synth was in that exact moment, it started to taper pretty quickly after about 4 bars or so, and we start to lose a lot of what I really love about it. So I'm going to strip this all the way back to around where I stripped the one above from, or two. Simply because this is from the same source material here, and see if we can find an easy crossover point. Ooh, see, yeah, and then there's this. So Liv says, I don't think I want to make money with my own music. It feels more sacred than that. I'd much rather give it away for free, which is so rad, which is so lovely. Hmm. So Wolf Asylum says, I suppose I've never had that really intense business sense to use my time effectively in generating income from the sounds I make. Meanwhile, back on the early sound thread, Aphex Twin, etc., Iron Imp is saying CDP, or at least the earliest versions of it, started in the mid-'80s. Trevor Wishart wrote at least part of the software for his 1985 Vox album. Eventually, it was commercial in the 90s and 2000s. Then it went for freeware open source. But maybe you just need to be less sentimental, says Liv. Well, I mean, it really just comes down to, look, if you make music and sound and you're tickled pink through and through doing it exactly how you're doing it, then you should never subscribe to what anyone else is selling or pushing or anything, right? Because it's great where you are, right? Uh, but if the whole topic just feels like super frustrating and stuff, it might be because you're feeling on the outside of it. Yeah, I feel the frustration from so many people right now, especially with the whole AI thing just looming out over everybody. I think everyone is just kind of like, man, is music just a hobby now? Like, is this just for fun? And am I okay with that? All of that. Wolf Asylum likes the sound. It's like an old scratchy vinyl record played in a factory on an asteroid in outer space. Right? Right? I love it. It's like there's some kind of frozen quality to it. Let's see if we found a crossover point here. No, we did not. But let's just find one. If we get lucky, we get lucky. And if we don't, then we'll zoom in and we'll make some changes. That was close. That was close. Every once in a while. Logic, love. All right, we're going to go right in the middle here. And we're going to add maybe just some subtle movement to this. Now, I don't want to mess up the aesthetic, so it's a little tricky. But what we could do is kind of square off this waveform and just kind of kiss it just a little bit. Yeah, like this. So it feels a little more fragile. A little reapproach. I feel like we were very much closer over here. And then we'll just tidy up the front of this just a touch. And we'll add a little bit of fade action. Feels a little bit better. Yo, Echo Forge Studios in the house. What's up, Tom? How you doing, homie? Iron Imp, I love this. This is kind of like the quote of the morning right here. I have the mind of a tinkerer and librarian more than an entrepreneur. Did someone just open Logic Tremolo? Is that what conjured you? Anyone that opens a Logic Tremolo, I can feel anywhere in the world. This is amazing. Now we know how to get Tom here. This is like the bat phone. You open the Logic Tremolo and Tom appears. He's like Clippy. Oh, Wolf is saying, you know, Chris, I've used some of your OhmLab stuff before. Come to think of it, I didn't realize that was this stream. Oh, yeah, well, the OhmLab project has been around for a long time now. It's been around for a long time now. The old tremolo tracker. Paul is aware of this arcane technology. All right. All right, let's see. Where do we push this thing to? Sure. Let's say that we're going to go to there, and we're just going to open up our automation here, and we'll turn on volume control. And I'll let this piece out gently over here. Oops. Ah, come on now. Thank you. And keep that. All right, yeah, I think it's pretty all right. That tiny little bit of a skip will be lost in the scene. And what is our LUFS? All right, feels pretty magical. What do we call it, you guys? What do we call this? Oh, by the way, Echo Forge Studio is actually masters by Iggy in the chat. So if you are looking for anyone to make your normally awesome sounding stuff sounding even more spectacularly awesome, send your stuff to Tom and he will master it for you, and it will sound incredible. By the way, can we please come up with a new term? I know I've been saying this for like years now, but I still feel it each time I say it. I just feel like we need a better word than mastering. IDM and mastering. Let's just like we'll figure this out. We'll figure this out. Wolf is saying, "Oh yeah, the OhmLab stuff is absolutely amazing." Oh, thank you. You can get some really wild sounds out of the software I used some back in the early 2000s. It's kind of auto-generative, kept weird stuff super interesting. Frozen asteroid, definitely whole separate layers. Yeah, man. All these are good threads in the chat, by the way, today. All right, what are we calling this magic sound? This is in the key of A. LUFS at 1920. That's good. Let's just go ahead and do this then. 2448. So I went to this website earlier. And sort of an agent arena. It's an AI thing, and long story short, went there and just arriving at the website. It's this new voice assistant technology that I was supposed to take a look at to see if we wanted to incorporate it in something. And just arriving at the website completely froze so many things on my system. It was half an hour this morning of just like, ugh, I couldn't believe it. I went to a website. I felt like, remember back in the day, you'd like, especially on a Windows machine, you'd like arrive on a website and the little pop-ups would start and you'd be like, oh man, what have I done? Ugh. It was kind of like that. Clicked on this website and like all of the stuff froze. My Logic project froze, ADD crash, Zoom froze. It just like everything that touches audio, it just completely wrecked them. Had to restart my whole machine. Man, hate that stuff. What are we calling this sound though? Seriously. It's a little hazy. It's I need another word for suspended or suspension. I swear, half of the web pages I load are looking up synonyms. Deferral. Stay. Stay is kind of interesting. Dormant. Disbarment. Come on. There's got to be better words than this. Abeyance? Man. I feel like I get smarter every time I do this. Cold storage. Oh my goodness. I don't think I'm winning on this one. Wolf wants to write a tune with some super intense breakbeats like he used to. Like really glitchy, a complete mess. You should. You should. The 200 hidden pop-up message. Yeah. Right, Paul? Yeah, it was kind of like that. It was kind of like that. Yeah, Iron Imp, I think there's going to be this kind of bland future in music where all of the free plans on all the subscription streaming services are just going to be AI, whatever, elevator, blah, and some of it will be interesting, and some platforms will actually have some pretty funky, weird stuff, and people will like that. And then your paid tiers will be with humans and like more advanced AI models that actually sound good. That's what I think. But even if a year from now we're like hearing people say, "See, told you so," AI music is still completely non-complex, totally derivative, and all of the stuff that we're all really thinking on the inside. It's just a matter of time. Like it's an inevitability. But humans will prevail. We will always have like the need or the drive to push our creative things through. It's true. How about we call this one Stay? I think that one's good. Let's call it Stay. Echo Forge Studio says AI won't have the idea to make a spectral fart sound into a neuro bass, though. Right, exactly. And then AI also would not have the idea to say, "Hey Tom, now come make that sound through this tube into my bathtub through this microphone." It's true. AI probably would not do that. This one's trash. This one is not going to make it. Trash. Beautiful. Just kidding. Yeah, I think the first place we'll see a lot of AI in video games, Iron Imp, are just in general, like the NPCs. Like, just imagine having the ability to play through a game where, and there's history and intent tethered to all of this, right? So each time you play through, like, let's say, maybe something like Zelda, right? Where you've got the chance of uh, different characters providing you with goods or affecting uh, outcome of the game by introducing side quests and stuff, right? So if these things are being generated, uh, reinitiated each time someone launches a game, then you effectively can play through in a world. You wouldn't have to play through a world again. You could just keep playing. You know what I mean? Like you could go back to these places and have deeper, longer, meaningful relationships with these folks and these, like, imagine revisiting folks in Kakariko Village over like the next 10 years, right? Like that's pretty cool. Wolf Asylum says, rather than AI, we need HI. Well, part of what Apple was announcing yesterday in their WWDC, not to get too geeky for just a moment, what they're doing is quite a bit more responsible in that they have, and this is like if you go back several years to when they decided to introduce their own silicone again, this is why, because their AI is mostly local and it's specific to you, and it's learning from you and your needs, what you're asking of it, continually. And it only ever reaches out of the local state up into the cloud when absolutely necessary to introduce these different agents to help you with different processes or whatever, right? Access information from outside of your computer, for instance. Um, Now, normally you would just go and you would access the internet, but what they're doing is they're sending up into this kind of private cloud bubble. These servers are running exclusively on Apple silicon, so everything is super, super secure in all of this. Um, Love that. Love that, right? And all of the exchanges, it's very kind of blockchain minded. All of the exchanges that happen outside of that protective cloud space is done in like highly secure incremental fashion, like only as needed, just getting the bits that I need and nothing else, um, which is so responsible. It's great. They've had iCloud for a really long time. I think they'll move that over into that secure space and make it even better. I think all of that right there is so good for um, like creatives especially. There's so many different ways that we can get rid of the stuff that we're just like so bored of. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that we have to do, we don't need to. Tom says, my theory is that AI will just make recording techniques more relevant again, and I'm all up for that. And I totally see that. I think I was talking about this like last year about how when we start to see this surge, we'll see, layoffs and stuff, but then we're going to have to see this huge surge in skilled labor, right? Because there's going to be all of these new innovations happening, but the software doesn't do things. Like it doesn't, not in the real world. Like it does stuff on your screen. You know what I mean? Like you got to have humans touching things in places. And so I think skilled labor is going to go way up. Um, and technology boon in that area is just going to be insane, right? Will 3D printers will become a household item, and you can download stuff from a print shop the same way you would download an app to your phone, for instance, right? And make yourself this new thing that you need. Stuff like that. I mean, yeah, there you go. Iron M says, I mean, hell, we've only been recording music since the late 19th century, so yeah. Hmm. Seth says, if AI can help mic a harp, that I'm down for. Yeah, yeah. Tom says, have you seen the new Korg acoustic synthesis stuff? Impossible for an AI to recreate that actively because you can use any object to change the tonality in real time. Yeah, it's like analog sound transfer. Like sound transform. Absolutely. Yeah, Iron Imp, there you go. The thing about music is that it is a language. That's the thing. That's what I keep coming back to in all of these is that the ones that are uh, basing all of their efforts off of a model that is bespoke to music, the outcomes are so much different. So much different because it is its own language. There's rules. Super secure until a breach. Sure, sure. Yeah, there's I do have greater trust in Apple in that regard over the other players in the space just based upon history, but I know that that in and of itself makes them a, a more shiny target as time passes. So all it takes is enough people using a platform for it to become the target. So from the mundane life, art was born. How can a computer imitate the unique voice within? Yeah, right. And you know what's really interesting is we oftentimes consider unique things that we wouldn't do ourselves or things that surprise us. Um, that's gonna be really interesting. It's gonna be really, really interesting just to see how everybody that's making tools in this time goes about doing it and like how much they listen to their community of users as they're developing things. I think that's pretty key. This one's like super plain. Tom, you take care, homie. An artist said, I want AI to clean my dishes while I do art, not the other way around. But do you really want AI to handle your sharp cooking knives? Oh, man. Right? You'd be always like so suspicious. You're like, cook me dinner, AI. And AI's like, sure, I'll cook you dinner. You're like, why'd you say it like that? What's in the dinner? Why are you looking at me like that, Hal? All right, back to reality here. I have no idea. Caution, maybe? This one's like super plain. I don't like the tail, so I'm going to chop that. I'm going to go into some automation here, and we're just going to add a little manual fade. Fade it over a little bit over a bar. And set a boundary here. That's fine. So if anybody needs a fade, it's there for them. And I think we'll just call this caution and call it good. It's just a touch loud still. There we go. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's just undo that. We undo that? Yeah, we did. Now we can bounce. That's a C. Call it caution. Oh yeah, Saf, that scene. Yeah. Blade Runner, man. This is a great one. This is like high tension, high stakes. What do we call this one? Gamble, maybe? Well, Wolf Asylum. The other thing that happens here is we do talk about Audio Design Desk, which is something that I've been helping build for the past few years. It's a DAW that was made specifically to change the way that we put sound to picture. So it's a sound design DAW, like sound design in the classic sense of putting sound to moving picture. And we have developed several different AI tools for it, which we believe are really responsible and different than what we're seeing all over the place right now. So there is a use, and it just takes the right minds doing the right things together, I think, to keep it responsible. Okay, let's get this super little fragile sound. All right, that's fine. I think I've already used fragile, and this is very tense. Wolf Asylum, yeah, it is out in the wild. In fact, it's multi-award winning, and we've just released version 2 of it. It's called Audio Design Desk, add.app. That is the URL. And it's super awesome. It is the future. Turn your voice into a saxophone or your saxophone into a breakbeat. Yeah, new tone with the audio transfer technology. Mm-hmm. Still beta mine. Yeah, it is. It's a little rough around the edges, but it's been improving slowly, and it's like one of a few that you'll see. And I think that if you look at what Krotos was doing with Reformer Pro, several years ago, similar kind of concept, just neural network based, and when fidelity falls in line, it will be really cool. It'll be really cool. This is also very Hitchcockian, this sound, right? I do like it when synthesis feels really organic like this. And we can't really call it Hitchcock, but we could call it Vertigo. We could do that. D sharp, Vertigo, sold. For those that haven't heard, the first of the Universe of Sound series is out. It's called Planet of Catal, and it's super awesome. And you can grab it over at Ghost Hack right now. And I can even share a link for those who want to check it out. I can even find it. Man, I have a couple too many tabs open right now. Here it is. My URLs, thank you. Iron M says, I don't want to wager a lot on this, but what you want to bet that in the future, people will still use older AI models, and a lo-fi AI will become a thing. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. There will be some nostalgia there. Yeah. Oh, man, that's awesome. Iron M says, I saw a music video for Current 93s. I have a special plan for this world done using an early crusty version of Google's Deep Dream because the uncanny imagery really fit the track. That's awesome. All right, I think I just did that one. Just trying to hit the Luft's target here. Yo, Marty Washington, welcome in, and happy Tuesday to you. It's weird to say Tuesday. We don't normally stream on Tuesdays. You are new here and new to music production. Well, there's a lot of legends in this community that can help you out, so ask questions liberally. What are we going to call this one? This feels like it's like the kind of drone that you hear as you're sneaking through the corridors looking for that server room. There's this kind of anxious pulse and ticky-tacky rhythmic over the top. What do we call this one? Search, seeking, searching, seeking, finding, locate. Seeker. We'll call it seeker. This is an E. Key of E. Seeker. Oh, I know. So we saw a couple subs earlier. If they were new subs, if you guys have not already grabbed free sounds from the Discord as a new subscriber, do so. As soon as my left ear is fully back online, we'll bounce all those toppers and get you guys a new pack too. All right. Well, this isn't quite tinnitus, so I don't think we could call it tinnitus, but we could call this maybe ring or something like that, or concussed, or shell shock. Do shell shock. That's one word. Super annoying. Yeah, let's call it shell shock, right? Super annoying. Actually, let's give it a little bit of wiggle if we're going to call it shell shock, because I don't think that feels quite right without it. There's always the pulse, like the concussion kind of pulse. You know what I mean? Quarters. Let's go eighths and see. Maybe like this. Sorry to torture your ears. I think I'm going to go with this one. This is going to be shell shock, and it's going to be C. Ooh. We can listen to that. Let's do that really quick, huh? Iron Imp just threw the janky lo-fi AI current 93. Hey, Wolfie. How you doing? What'd you put it? Cool music, right? Yeah, cool music. Let's do this.
In her eyes tonight, there's a glow tonight. They're so bright they could light Fontainebleau tonight.
We can do this, right? Yeah. I don't think we'll get a strike for this, will we?
Blessed little house, click to the chord, acting out her fuss, with a frolicking ball. She's such fun tonight, she's a treat tonight, you could spread her out, bread, she's so sweet.
When everyone you have ever loved is finally gone, when everything you have ever wanted is finally done with, when all of your nightmares are for a time obscured as by a shining brainless beacon, or a blinding eclipse of the many terrible shapes of this world.
This is fantastic. I want to use this as dialogue in something. I do. You've inspired me. Marty Washington, no. If you're wanting to see ADD, we could fire up ADD for a bit. Okay, let's, what was that? And let's save this guy. Now let's fire up ADD. We'll skip that for now. All right, so basically, Audio Design Desk, in a nutshell, is aware. It's got. We've built like an audio intelligence in that we've embedded a whole bunch of metadata into each audio file in the library. And you can tag your own audio as well. Like we have a really awesome tagging tool. It's great. Should be using it outside of Audio Design Desk anyway, because it's like the best tagging tool ever. But we just riddle it with metadata. So then the program can then interact with the files in different ways based upon that metadata information. So it becomes easy for me then to, while my playhead is actually running in the timeline, I could just with my QWERTY keyboard say, I want a drone, a rise transition, and hit right here. So all of these things can now kind of be in sync with one another in the timeline. If I don't like something, I can kind of automagically start replacing them with just simple keystrokes. We could add, you know, maybe like some sort of like urgent pulse or something here. We could add a little transition just for interest. So before, it would have taken a very, very, very long time, right, to go and find the drone, right, and audition all of these different drones, right? So like, let's say we want a different drone, right? So we could just replace that. So this is now a different drone. Totally different vibe. So I kind of feel like if we keep that one, we should just replace this rise transition and hit to something different. And instead of being random, we could go do something really specific instead and say, actually, for these three things, let's just do an intensity of 1 or 2 and a complexity of 1. This is a pretty gentle kind of drone here. Let's just roll with that. So we'll say replace. And now it's going to replace with all those gentle things. And like this is in G major, this is in A minor. We could find something better, right? We could go in here and we could say, all right, well, actually, if we go into key, we could actually pick something that's G major, so it fits with what we decided on for our drone, for instance. And we could even do the same thing with our transition sounds. We could say, yeah, okay, so this I want to be a G as well. And you could just make a really tonal landscape. If you want something that actually fits the genre that you're doing, you could move away from something like that would be more like sci-fi and go into maybe more drama or into like a calm mood, for instance. Oh, I probably have something on here that shouldn't be. Let's turn off key. Let's give this thing a key. So it's really easy to like align elements without having to go through and search through a whole bunch of different folders and files and libraries and stuff. And then we've built a whole bunch of really kick-ass tools that allow you to connect to any online subscription service for like stock media or whatever, online archives, or if you're collaborating with people, you can use your file sharing platforms or whatever. And then we've also got extensions which allow it to connect to any DAW and any NLE out there. It just completely changes everything. Yo, Danny. I'm feeling like I don't know, head cold wise, like maybe like 75%, something like that. I don't know. I got meds again from the doctor, so I'm starting to feel the first dose do good things for me again, which is good. How are you doing? Yeah, good drugs do good things. Yeah, right? Yeah, they really help. They really, really help. All right, so that, who was asking? Marty Washington was asking. That is ADD in a nutshell. I mean, there's way more to it. From your initial edits all the way through reconform in another program like, Final Cut Pro or Premiere or whatever, DaVinci Resolve. It connects to all of them. It works with all of them. It's a godsend. Where were we? We were in here, right? You're in deep in sample mastering this week before a trip to the Bay next week. Once these are wrapped up, it's back to the studio to work on the next album. Nice. Yeah, I've got kiddo's school ending this week, so that adds a whole layer of chaos. Lots of extra trips to the school and stuff. Yeah, school's out for summer. So you can add that stuff from AD to Ableton and yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Marty Washington, you can export via XML or AFF or you can also just like drag sounds right out, just like you would out of Soundly or SoundMiner or any other big like sample manager library or whatever. You can just like highlight the section you want and drag it over. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's got all the stuff. It's definitely the best thing out there. If you are someone that puts sound to picture or makes sound for picture in any way, shape, or form, it's definitely worth checking out. It's a big game changer. Oh, what is this? This is like... Oh, that's better. This is just like a current. Can we... Let's just go back to the tremolo again. If we take this, zero out the phase, and keep the depth around 40% or so, and push this up to like 30-second triplets-ish. That feels a little bit better. Feels a little bit more alive. Right? Buddha Bless Archive. Archive.org. Great resource. Yeah, okay. I think I like it better with the wiggle. G, we'll call it charged, maybe. Oh, wait. Did that say 13? It's like neg 14 lufs right there. Let's bring that down. That's fine. All right. So we'll call this one charged, and we should probably put it in the right spot here. Did I say G? Yeah. G. Oh, nice, Paul. A 1950s GM Auto Show video for this weekend show. That's awesome. That'll be fun to glitch. All right. This one feels like... Let's get the lefts in line and figure out what it feels like. It feels like drone. That's what it feels like to me. I think it might be a drone. I think we're just going to call this one oscillations. I think that's what we're going to call it, but I do want just a little bit of movement in it again. So we're going to open up the tremolo again, zero out the phase again, and we're going to put this on a longer one. We're going to say 1 bar dotted. Minimal depth, 11%. Pretty smooth. Let's listen. That should balance the luff average too for us. Hold on a second. Cool. Okay, we'll bounce that. That's D. And we'll call it oscillations. Ooh, Paul, getting a stent out tomorrow, a slow ascent to health. Good for you, dude. Happy for you. That's great. Oh, yeah. I kind of want to drag this around a little bit in here. Let me think about this. Is this a stupid idea or a good idea? What is that ranging from? It's ranging from 550 to 2K almost. Let's try it. Let's put it through an auto filter. And let's put this... I know I can... Let's see here. We can select, right? Yeah, we can pick a band. And we can say just maybe a little bit more fat than it is, because that's pretty skinny. We don't really need the envelope. We do want the envelope to move. But we only want it from a certain position, right? So, like, here-ish. But I want the dry signal out, too. So that'll be a thing. And we'll set this to, like, maybe a 4-bar. Paulie! Respect the gazelle, y'all. Paulie's here. Yo! How you doing, brother? Hope you've been well. It's been a minute. Happy almost summer to you. All right, let's name this thing, shall we? Is it D or is it C sharp? C sharp? Maybe more D? All right, we'll call it D. And it's annoying. What do we call it, though, besides annoying? Tenuous, maybe. I kind of want to put a tremolo on this one, too. We're going to put... throughout that phase again, we're going to move this up to, let's say, 16th triplets, square it just slightly. There we go. That adds a little extra tension to it. All right, so I think tenuous might be a good name for this. And what was this again? This is D, you said? Ish. It's not very centered. We'll call it D. Tenuous. SAF needs more quantizers. Bluffs down. Better. butter. What is this thing sitting here at C sharp? What is this? This is pretty steady. Could just call this one deep, maybe. Every once in a while you gotta throw an easy one in there, right? Let's do that. We'll call this one deep. Oh wait, what was this? C sharp. Cool. Physical PAMs. That feels like there's a t-shirt lurking in there. Physical PAMs. Ooh, this one's just a menace. Let's bring this one down a good 10 dB and try that again. Oof, beefy. This is C. Beefy. All right, let's do this. Yeah, let's just call this thing Menace. The key of E. Let's drop this down 7 dB or so. Yo, less than perfect. How y'all doing? How was your raid? Or your stream? Thank you for the raid. We're streaming on a Tuesday, which we don't normally do today. What'd you guys get up to today? Sentira, welcome in. We are bouncing a bunch of cinematic drones right now, actually. This will be the second volume in the drone series in the Cinematic Essentials series over at, where's this one going? Ghost Hack. So there you go. Did a beat battle. Mine is super chill. We're doing a little makeup stream for yesterday. I didn't stream because I was sitting and watching WWDC with the team and missed these guys, so I decided I'd stream today instead. And here we are. Glad you had a good stream over there. Thank you so much for the raid. Appreciate you. If it's your first time here, OhmLab Project's been around for a really long time. We work across the industry on a whole bunch of different projects. These are some cinematic sounds for Ghost Hack. We were just taking a look at Audio Design Desk, which is a tool I've been helping build for the past several years. It's kind of changed how we put sound to picture these days, which is exciting. We've just put out version 2. So if you make sound for picture or you put sound to picture, go check it out. Adapp, add.app. That is the URL. All right, this feels really simple and probably like the place to stop. Drop down the volume just a little bit more. Okay, well, let's just call this one Hush. What was this key? E. Has kind of a cottony kind of feel to it. Call it Hush. Danny. Internal sample rates for ADD recorded 4824. Yeah. All of our internal library stuff, like ADD official library stuff, there are some files in the mix from some third-party folks that might be 44.1, I think. But like all the official sounds, yeah. We were just having a conversation about that this morning about how still so many platforms require 44.1 to be uploaded because of older broadcast standards, right? Which a lot of folks still adhere to in the world. But here in the West, we've moved on and everything is so much louder. It seems almost silly to even entertain that idea. Okay, this one's pretty solid as is already. We just have to figure out the pitch here. It's tough with those tones beating against each other. I think we're going to call it in the middle and maybe to call this a B. Oof. Okay. This is like fight or flight kind of thing, right? Like anxiety, trepidation. Let's see. Intensity. How about we call it intruder? And it's in the key of B. Sometimes when you can't get the feeling right, you just move to the next thing. What's the object associated with the feeling? That's the brilliance of the one word naming convention. It is easier with 2 words oftentimes, though. Just saying. F sharp, A sharp, a little low on the left, so let's bring those up initially. Good 6 dB or so. Let's get rid of this flutter down here in the lower regions. These nether regions down here. This is fine. Still feels just a little unnecessarily thick right about here. Ooh, this is sneaky. You know, what if we... Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Call this one stealth. It's a little chunky. Sure, we'll call it stealth. Another B. Key of B and stealth. That might not be kept. I'm not really a fan of that one. The Hemingway process of file naming. Scrolling up to get caught up in the chat here. Oh, yeah, IronImp. Yeah, it can convert. Audio Design Desk can convert into anything. It can convert into whatever file format or depth or rate you desire. And it does have the toggle option of upsampling. So yeah, pretty flexible and really good quality, actually. Hmm. You know, IronImp, it would be great to have you like read some manuals or something and use that dialogue in some tracks. Passionately, of course. Another B. Already did that. Not another B. C. Let's bring the lefts down on this one. Pretty sub-heavy. You know, might just call this one low. That one did sound like a very radar station fully bed, huh? Read DSP engineering text in a metalcore scream. Oh man, that would be something. That would really be something. Some nice math drums to it. That'll keep the manual moving right along, won't it? No caffeine required. Yeah, I'm not sure on this one. Might just call it low. Because we can. We'll just call it low. When in doubt, go easy. And let's bring this down. Good 7 dB or so. All right, this one kind of goes places. This one feels Maybe it wants a little overdrive. That feels like a right spot right there. Let's bring this back down again. We'll just keep turning it down and keep adding more saturation to it. How about that? Ooh, there's that tickle. Marty Washington, take care, homie. Have a good one. Hope to see you here again. Have a good day at work. Mostly consistent. This is D sharp. And this one feels like... This one feels like... almost in a weird way, kind of like a homecoming. Welcome. Yeah, learn DSP on the streets. Yeah. All right, so it's got a bit of a thing, right? It's kind of vacillating between these two main saturation states here, right? How about we call it duality? Tip of the hat to Danny, and this is a D sharp here. Oops. I did not mean to print. I meant to bounce. Let's take that. We'll just undo that. Thank you, Logic. And instead, we'll say D sharp. Duality. When in doubt, look over at Danny's paper and copy his answers. D sharp is unironically your favorite key right now, too. Nice. Nice. Less Than Perfect DJ says, so how painstaking is it to make a full 500-ish sound sample pack? How long does it take? Like creation, processing, organizing, the whole bang. It's a good question. It depends on the project. Like if you go into, I'll show you a couple, just for full disclosure. Universal Sound Plan. Okay, so this is the projects that it took to make this pack. There were a couple of extra folders put in here, but they're kind of folded in. And this is more than that many sounds, I think. But we're in the ballpark. We're in the ballpark. It's probably like knocking on 6 gigs or so. And it's done in chunks, right? So the biggest part of it is what kind of pack is it? Do the pieces need to work together holistically throughout the pack? In other words, is it more of a construction kit or sound design kit where you're going to have, you know, drones and hits and pads and stuff that actually need to work together tonally and atonally? Or is this more of a mixed bag, one-shot kind of approach where you're working within a theme style or instrument type and you're just giving people a grab bag of fun, right? Where they don't actually need to function together, right? So those are like a couple of the main approaches, right? So if you're doing a grab bag of fun, production time goes way down, and the ways in which you can produce it are so incredibly varied, right? So you're it really comes down to your efficiency and perseverance on that kind of a project. So for 500 sounds, if it's something short form like drum sounds, you get that done in just a couple of days, really. As long as you have a really tight workflow and you're working with intention, which means you know what your output needs to be and you're aiming for that output. So it doesn't mean that you have like a recipe that you're following for each sound, but you know that you need 50 glitch, right? And 50 stutter and 50 reverses or whatever, right? And you can kind of follow that, and that really kind of pushes your workflows forward, right? Because you know exactly what you need to do next. So in that sense, those packs come together very quickly. So number of days, okay? And then your next important thing is making sure that your art and your demo are really delicious, right? You eat with your eyes first. You sell audio through demo preview content. It's just the way it works. So make it really good and don't misrepresent what's in there. Some people spend a ton of time on that. I'm the opposite. I spend very, very little time. If I can't bring sounds directly into a timeline and just hit bounce, then my sounds aren't worth selling, is the way that I see it. So I'm not someone that produces the hell out of something to make it sound super tight and awesome. The sounds are what they are, and they should be awesome. They should stand on their own. So the demo doesn't take long for me. So I would say a pack of just miscellaneous or curated one shots or whatever, that's easy. That's just a couple of days. For something more holistic, like something to build soundtracks out of, like this Planet of Cthulhu, you're talking more along the lines of like a month of work where you're focusing on progressions and varied outcomes and continuity. There's just so many different things to track in that, right? It's not difficult, it's more complex and it takes more time. So if you're doing it right, something like that might take upwards of like a month and would get a lot more money too, right? You're going to sell that for quite a bit more because you can do more with it. And the results are going to be more empowering for the end user than just a collection of one-shots. So. Do I make samples for Ghost Hack? Yep, I do. Ah, well, good. I'm glad that we make your sessions easier. Yeah, I do sounds for a bunch of different folks, and Ghost Hack is one that I've been doing sounds for quite a while. They have really good stuff. I mean, it's a family, kind of first and foremost, is kind of the way that I see it. We didn't actually click around in here. You need to, I guess, kind of hear a few of these to kind of appreciate the kind of ethos of a project like that. It's got these atmospheres, which have got to mostly be atonal in nature. And they all need to be able to sit above beds, right? So then your bed elements are these. They're your drones, your hits, your pads, your percussion loops, your pulse loops, your rhythmic loops, your risers, your stingers. Stingers, some people consider them to be bed elements, and some people consider them to be more accent elements. So we'll keep those out. But the sub booms and sub rumbles, the suckbacks, the swells, the textures, the transitions, and whooshes. So pretty much everything needs to sit under the atmospheres, and your drones and your pads need to sit under your percussion loops and your hits, and your risers need to be just under your stingers and your suckbacks. Your swells need to be just above your textures, and so on and so forth. So there's kind of this hierarchy. So you're tracking things like perceived loudness of different sound types, right? You're going to bounce the different sounds in these different categories to different LUF standards, which is important. So there's just a lot more kind of nuanced consideration for everything, right? So if you listen to some hits, there should be a certain kind of quality and aesthetic that's being shared. And then that way, when you actually do put together your demos, where are the demos here? Demo tracks. They actually sound like they belong together, you know? Yeah, less than perfect. You probably have been. Yeah. That's a really good question from Iron M. So he says, when you say stingers, do you mean things that broadly serve the purpose of an orchestral stab? So there's two main types of stingers. There's stingers that are musical, and those are the things that take you in and out of scenes, right? Think of the family sitcom like Charles in Charge and the little guitar riff as they change scenes or whatever, right? Or the Friends or the Seinfeld, right? And then there's the sound design stingers, and sound design stingers are accent material. They are the abstract little sound design elements. They are the jump scares. They are the little embellishments that are tied to some form of specificity in the screen, the moment in the screen. So whether it's dialogue or it's a character jumping out with a knife or whatever. That's the stinger. That's the stinger. Where were we in this bouncing stuff? Did we do this one already here? I think we did, didn't we? What did we call it? Let's see if we did. Duality. Yes, we did. Hey, less than perfect. You are tuned in. Thank you. You're a good assistant. Paying closer attention than I am. All right, this is sitting at 21 lufs, which is actually okay for this higher piercing type drone, but we want to capture some of these lower kind of undulations in here. So let's hit this with just a little bit of overdrive. We're going to eke out some of these metallic modulations down here without adding to the shrill. Okay, now let's go and take away the pain. Okay, and we've got some really, really interesting mid-range texture in here. So this is phase distortion, so it's introducing a delay here. Bear with me for just a minute more, guys. Are drops side-chained stingers? Oh, that's funny. Drops are drops. Drops are hype. Hype release. Drops are like the payoff. It's like the bucket of gold at the end of the rainbow. Oh god, this is just so harsh, isn't it? It's like super grating. Do I have grating in here yet? Because I might just call this grating. Where are we at? Drones, Volume 2, Day 1. Oh, hey, we're up to 43 sounds in this folder, you guys. We've been productive. No, we don't. And we could totally call this grading and it would really work, wouldn't it? This is D. Ish. Oh, it's so harsh. Do we have harsh? Harsh. Let's call it harsh instead. And I think we'll call it D. It's totally broken, but I think we'll call it D. And we'll just call it harsh. When in doubt, just layer a couple more layers of saturation on top of what you've already made. Call it good. Let's see if we got the tail of that one. I did not have my loop region quite in the right spot. Yeah, we got it. We got it. It's a nice ending, actually. Oh, I can't scroll down anymore, which is great news because that means that we are nearing the end of the files here. Which one was I on? This one? No. I've lost track of myself. We are on the last one in this project. We can jump to a different one. And take this down a good 10 dB or so. I'm not sure I really like this sound though. Let's put a little chorus on this. Not usually a fan of putting a lot of chorus into a drone, but no, I don't like it. You know what we need on this one? We need a little minimal rift. And we're going to put what's the name for that phenomenon where you can hear the blood rushing through your head? What is that called when the world feels kind of muted and you've got this thing? Isn't there a name for that? Yeah, Iron Imp. It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Temporary threshold shift. Shift. Kind of like shift for this one, maybe. There we go. There's a little width without too much smearing here. Alright. We don't need to continue drowning. This is a little low. Take this and add just a little bit of extra beef here in the drive. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to call this one. Maybe we'll just call it Hunger. Sounds kind of like a predator out on a prowl. This was the Kia E. Predator. My kid's getting out of school this week. Did any of you grow up with a favorite like end of the school year kind of ritual or anything that you did? We took him to Dairy Queen to get a Blizzard last year, and he really wants to go and do that again, which I think is awesome. I'm a big fan of like tradition and like stuff like that. But you know, would totally love to hear what y'all did. I didn't really do anything. Like when school let out, I was known to just kind of like bolt and then be seen sometime around dinner. DQ Blizzard's so good, right? Right? He deserves it. He deserves good treats. He's done incredibly well, of course. Hey, let's close this and let's open up day 2 and see what we did in there. This was, let's see here. How many did we get? We got 45 files out of just that one project that we were just in. And I bet they turned out all right. Like, I bet they turned out pretty consistently good. We aren't there fully yet, but I do have to go through V1 and check to make sure that we're not in similar territory with these guys. It's only 100 sounds, but I will need to go through them since it's part of a series, right? So I think we're fine so far. And then I always go through and I make sure that we don't have any names that are the same in either volume. Oh, I did not single out which drones were piercing in this one. Maybe I should do that. All right, we're in day 2 now. So let's see what we cooked up in this guy. Oh, and you know, we could have a similar kind of output chain here too. Pancakes and country fried steak, says Danny. That was his tradition. Friends would go to IHOP after their finals for the day. Hmm. All right, so people are liking the DQ. All right. Okay, so for this, we're going to take off. You know what we should do, in fact, is we're going to get out of here. Say, don't say. We're going to open up day 1. Bada bing. Bada bang. And we'll just say we're going to take and then we can close this project and go back to the other one. And then I can put these guys here. Not the usual setup, but good in a pinch. Okay, so we are going to listen through this lens. Day 2 was a little less vanilla than day 1. This has got like kind of a montage kind of a feel. F sharp. How about we call this one unfold, and this is F sharp. We're going to bring it down just a couple more dB. Or 48. Tail. All right, next one. I think this one is E for easy. That one is a really easy bounce. Ooh yeah, there's a piercing one. That'll cut right through. Yep. All right, so this is exactly the kind of sound that we take below the standard luff by a few. There's just no need to keep it louder. Okay. I'll take it down just a touch more. It's so true, Iron Amp tuners, man. Okay, so this one is piercing, it's annoying, it's shrill, it's danger, it's maybe just danger. Yeah, let's do danger. That's a key of D. E for easy and D for danger. Danger, danger, high voltage. Danger, danger, high voltage. E. This E feels circumstantial. There's the peak. There it is. All right, that's fine with me. This is E. We'll call it circumstance. How many N's shall we put in there this time? Let's bring this down just a little bit. Juicing it a fair bit. How about preparation? Does this feel like preparation to you guys? This feels absolutely like preparation to me. And this was what, G sharp, is it? Yeah, G sharp. And I've been wearing glasses for a year now, and it's time to go get new glasses because I can already, it's like already getting kind of fuzzy again. And I'm still not used to the whole, like, I kind of have to look at the certain spots in my glasses to see clearly. There is nothing that makes you feel a little bit older instantly than having to, like, look down your nose at something to see it in focus. You're like, oh, what is that? Eh. Yeah, Iron Imp. Vocode the vocoder. This is heavy. This is, thy end is near. This is like those big robot aliens. They're definitely gonna, I think they might squish us this time. Or it could be like going up against some huge evil, like, corporate empire in some dystopian film or something. Shall we call this endgame? Let's just bring this down like 8 dB. We'll call it endgame here. All right, this is in the key of C. Endgame. Speaking of endgame, you know, I've just looked up and I've seen the clock and I see that it is that time. And I'm going to see about keeping this party going. Let's see who's up right now and streaming. Ayo. Ayo. Oh, turntablism. Ooh, or classic jams. Turntablism, classic jams. Okay, let's go say hi to Decipher, our fellow homie. I appreciate you guys chilling out with me today on a relaxed Tuesday stream. Appreciate it. I will see you guys not tomorrow. There's no stream tomorrow. It's kids' last day of school. Got to go pick them up, go do Dairy Queen, right? So Friday, we'll see you for Feedback Friday. Bring your tracks, show up early to get in line and be heard. Let's go visit Decipher and see what our homie is spinning today. I'll see you on the flip. Peace out.